Welcome back to another game of codename Quick Strike Football. My name is Brian Hefferkamp, and I am the creator and designer of this game. And we're doing a sort of a pre-play of the Vikings 2022 season. They're 1-2 so far. They've lost to Green Bay and Philadelphia weeks 1 and 2, and then they took care of business against Detroit 42-7 in the last game. This is going to be week number 4 at New Orleans. Hopefully, be a good game. Let's go ahead and decide the coin toss here. So the black die is going to be the home team. So Minnesota wins. They are going to defer to the second half, so New Orleans will receive. And they'll be taking over drive number 1. There's a kickoff, so we'll see if there's a run back for TD. 7 and a 3. That is not. It takes, on my dice, it's a 0-0. Maybe on your dice, it's a 10 and a 10, but it requires a 100 in order to run back the kick for a touchdown. Get a couple shuffles here, and New Orleans has 75 yards to go for a TD as they start at their own 25. And we got this one going. That's 8, 15, 18, 26, 34, 39, 49, 54, 64, 73, and 77. So they do take it the distance. They go 75 yards for TD, and New Orleans up 7-0 early. So Minnesota, the kickoff goes to them. Let's see if there's a run back. There is not. And Minnesota's got 1st and 10 at their own 25 for drive number 2, or drive number 1 for them. Vikings put up 42 on Detroit's defense playing at home. Let's see how they do against New Orleans. And look at that right off the bat. Got nothing. So first drive, 0 yards, and we're going to get a punt. So got our punting dice here, and it's 38 yards net. So 10, 20, 30, 40, plus 1, 2, down to the 37. Let's see if there's a punt return for TD. There's not. And New Orleans, good field position. They start at their own 37, which means that they only have to go 63 yards for a score. Less than that, only 35 yards to get into field goal range. So I usually like to give 2 shuffles, and that seems to get everything going the right way. Second drive of the game for New Orleans. There's 11, 18, 20, 24, 34, 37, 42, 47, 56, 65, and they've got to go 60, only 63, right? So they go for the touchdown. So they got to go 63 yards for TD. And just like that, the Vikings are down. Let's see if there's a run back. Nope. So Minnesota, with their second drive of the game, start at their own 25. They got to go 75 for TD. So far, the cards have all been for New Orleans. And let's see if Minnesota can get on the board with their second drive. So 11, 18, 23, 29, 36, 45, 53, 60, 64, 68, 78. Look at that. Minnesota goes down the field, and they get within 1 score. So 14-7 is our score. In New Orleans at Le Superdome, Let's do both of these, see if there's a run back. 2 D10s to see if there's a run back. And there's not. So New Orleans on their third drive. Let's see if they can go the distance as well. 75 yards to go for TD as they start at their own 25. Don't know much about New Orleans this year. Jameis Winston's quarterback. I think they won week 1. And it's a good test for Minnesota to go down to the Superdome. All right, so 9 yards and then a turnover. So big play for the Vikes as they force a turnover after only 9 yards. So that's 10 and 9, so down to the 34. And Minnesota's going to take over there. I don't roll for a turnover for a TD. You could certainly do that if you wanted to, where you do it just like a punt or a kickoff, where you roll to see if they returned it for a touchdown. I don't do that, but that would be another sort of vector in the game, opportunity to score. Third drive of the game starts at the New Orleans 34. They only have to go 4 yards to get into field goal range, so they're already there. So 16, 18, 27, and they got to go 34. 27 and a turnover. Oh my gosh. Yeah, caramba. So 10, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they get down to the 7-yard line and turn it over. Awesome. So New Orleans is going to start deep in their own territory at the 7, but they didn't give up any points, unfortunately. I am a homer for life for the Vikings. It's been both a good and tough fandom in my 44 years of life. So New Orleans starts from their own 7-yard line. They got to go 93 yards for a TD. 13, 22, 29, 36, and a stop. So good defensive stand there by Minnesota. 10, 20, 30. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the 43. We're going to get a punt. Punt goes for 38 yards. 10, 20, 30, 40, and 1, 2. So at the 19-yard line is where Minnesota is going to take over. Let's see if there's a return for TD. There's not. So Minnesota starts drive number 4 from their own 19-yard line. Got to go 81 yards for a TD. So definitely going the long way. New Orleans at least got a good punt out of that. They kind of dug out of their hole they were starting in on their own 7-yard line. So a pretty good series to flip the field there, not give Minnesota a short field. 81 is our look, and boy, Minnesota gets a whole lot of nothing there. So we're going to go with a punt. Punt is going to be for 63 yards, so that's a boomer. And that'll flip the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 1, 2, 3, down to the 18. And let's see if there's a return for TD. Please, Lord, no. And there's not. And New Orleans will take over at their own 18. Let's see what their luck is like. Minnesota's has 0 luck in this game. Prime opportunity to score after the New Orleans turnover and couldn't do anything with it. So here's New Orleans with their last drive of the half, and they're starting at their own 18. They got to go 82 yards for a score. 10, 12, 19, 22, 28, 35, 43, 46, 56, and a turnover. So they get down 56 yards and commit another turnover. Let's see if Minnesota can capitalize on that with their last drive of the half. So what is that? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 minus 1, 2, 3, 4. So down to the 26-yard line they got to. They were in field goal range and then turned it over. So not feeling bad for New Orleans. They're up 14-7. And what looked like a scoring fest is slowed down with 3 turnovers in the last 6 possessions. So 74 yards to go for Minnesota, last drive of the half. They can just get absolutely nothing going, as that's going to be the half. So the half just ends, and Minnesota deferred to the second half, so they're going to get the ball first in the second half. And this is just a sad state of affairs for the Vikings in this game, as they cannot get the offense going. Kevin O'Connell, get in there. Make some changes. Draw it up, brother. All right, kickoff to the second half. Do we have a return for TD? We do not. And so Minnesota, 75 yards to go for a TD. Let's see what they got. Same thing. Wow, that's awesome. I can tell. Not a very good shuffle. So nothing there. We got a punt. The punt is 31 yards. 10, 20, 30, and 1. So down to the 44-yard line. Is there a punt return for TD? There's not. So New Orleans will start their first drive of the second half at their own 44. So excellent field position for them, as they only have to go 56 yards for a score. For a TD, I should say. So New Orleans, drive number 6. And 56 yards, I'm sorry. 56 is their number. So 10, 20, and a stop. So good defense by Minnesota. As they force a punt after just 20 yards. So New Orleans gets down to the Minnesota 36. 60 is the punt, so that's going to be a touchback. And Minnesota's going to start at their own 20. No chance for a return there on a touchback. So Minnesota starts first and 10 at their own 20. They have to go 80 yards for a score. So 80 is the number that we're looking and hoping for. Every team gets 10 drives in the game. This is Minnesota's 7th. They're down 14-7. This game has slowed down quite a bit. 13, 17, 25, 35, 30, 44, 52, 61, 68, and a turnover. What is up? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they get down to the 2-yard line and turn it, or the 12, and turn it over again. Second turnover of the game for Minnesota. Both teams have 2 in the game. A little bit sloppy. And New Orleans is going to take over at their own 12, as they have just narrowly avoided points here. At least, you know, opportunities, 2 opportunities for field goals for Minnesota. So you can see just with that one king, you know, that provides plenty of opportunities for turnovers. Okay, first and 10. New Orleans has to go 88 yards for the score. 7, 11, and a stop. So we're going to get another punt, as Minnesota's been playing good defense. So 10, 11 out to the 23. The punt is a boomer. So 61 on the punt. And 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 1. So down to the 16-yard line. No run back for Minnesota. So the Vikings are going to take over 1st and 10 at their own 16. It's going to be 84 yards to go for a score. And they have not seemed to have any real issues moving the ball. Just hanging on to it. It's been a real problem. So Minnesota starts 1st and 10 at the 16. And they have the ball with a chance to tie up the game. So 84 yards. 84 is our number. 14, 20, 27. What do we got there? 14, 20, 27. 29, 32, and a punt. So punt upcoming for Minnesota after 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. So they get down to the 48. Punt is going to move the ball another 39 yards. 10, 20, 30, 40. Minus 1 is 39. Chance for a return. Oh, so close. Look at that. But no return on the play. This is going to be New Orleans ball for their 8th drive of the game. Only a few drives left for them. Only 2 drives left for Minnesota. It is 14-7, sort of a low-scoring ball game where both defenses have really taken over after what was a pretty raucous first quarter. So they'll begin at their own 13. That's going to be 87 yards to go for a score. 6. And going to get a punt here, so only 6 yards. Punt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the 19. The punt is going to go for 29 yards. 10, 20, 30, and minus 1. So Minnesota's going to start at the 50. Let's see if there's a run back on the... Okay, sorry, it should be the 48. No run back on the play. So Minnesota starts at the New Orleans 48. 1st and 10. This is their 9th drive of the game. They only have 2 left. They're down 14-7. If they can get a score and a stop and a score, and they're going to win. And let's see. Well, you can play like just a regular overtime. But let's get Minnesota into the end zone first. So it's going to be 48 yards to go for a TD. Gosh. It just like that turnover. So turnover number 3. If they win this game, they certainly don't deserve to win the game. It's going to be a 48, or at the 48. They turned it over to New Orleans. They don't go anywhere. It's really frustrating here. This is what happens when you play with a team that you like. You get all frustrated whenever they don't perform. I don't even know why I'm getting frustrated. It's all total luck in this game, but still frustrating. 48. They have to go 52 yards for a score. New Orleans does 10, 12, 22, 26, 32, 35, 39, 45, 50, and 59. So New Orleans does, in fact, go down the field for 52 yards and a TD. They take a 21-7 lead and capitalize on the Minnesota turnover. All right, on the kickoff, do we have a kickoff return for TD? So close, but not a return for TD. Okay, Minnesota with their final drive of the game. They obviously cannot win the game. They're down by 2 scores with 1 possession left. But they can do what they can to make it close. We're hoping for not another turnover. They've got 3 in the game. 75 yards to go. 15, 23, 31, 38, 40, 43, 48, 50, 52, 54, 64, 70, 5 yards left, 75. All right, and they finally put it in. For the score, they go 75 yards for a late TD, and it is 21-14. Let's get our final score and give New Orleans. It's not like baseball where you just don't have to play the last one. I guess you could if you wanted to, but you know, we're trying to get 10 possessions to a final score is really the idea here. Just a little quick play football game. You could use this to simulate all the games in between if you want to play them, but you don't want to play them. So 75 yards to go for New Orleans. 7 and a turnover to end the ball game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out to the 32 and turnover. So that's your final, 21-7. Minnesota squanders a lot of opportunities there to score. Didn't deserve to win. Lost a turnover battle, 3-2, and New Orleans comes away with the victory. So this is week number 4. Minnesota is 1-3 on the season. Only team they beat was Detroit. They've lost to the Eagles, they've lost to the Saints, and they've lost to the Packers. All good teams, but definitely games they were in and could have won. Maybe not should have won, but could have won. This is quick strike football. So what do you think? Good? No good? At least plays fun, I think. And there's a lot of unknowns going into every game. And going through the game, there's sort of there's a lot of swings for me, you know, it's being my team. And because it's so purely luck based, man, it can go either way. So this game is like wide open when you start it. I will post a link to a folder where you can get the rules and you can download the score sheet too and play for yourself. You'll have to provide your own field. This one doesn't, it'll work, I guess. Yeah, I could put that in there too. And I'll just provide a folder on Google Drive or something. You can download the components if you want to. I won't do an official GitHub on this one, but if you made it through the video, if you found this video, you know, go at it. And I like it. You can use it with college teams too, because there's no real differentiators between them. You're just playing the game of football, like it's just a football simulation. It's not really specific to any sort of league or anything like that. So you could use it for what, Division 2, Division 3, JUCO, doesn't matter. You can play any number of teams with it. And you can do any era. So I'm doing 2022 as sort of a pre-play for this season, but you could really honestly do any season, and it's probably going to hold up. If you wanted to add one more ace and you're playing like super old teams from the 60s or the 50s or the 40s, and where there was just more running and maybe even more turnovers, you could add another king, you could add another ace, and then that would sort of change the percentages on everything. All right, I think that's what we got. That's all from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.